guys. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm just going to be recording random thoughts that come to me and various things like that. It's, you know, it's, it sucks being lost in your mind sometimes. And especially if you're on like drugs and stuff like that. It could be pills, it could be shrooms, it could be marijuana, it could be any of those things. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be much for it to be a part of your life, for it to take precedence over, almost anything else. It could be to some people more important than, some family members or some shit like that. But, it's important that you know that it's not, and that the drugs doesn't make you. They don't make you who you are. They don't make you more fun. They don't make you any more of anything else than what you really are. And just somebody trying to cover up the pain, trying to cover up the hurt. You know, stuff you caused throughout life or whatever. But you're more than that. You're much more than that, and you should believe in that as well. You know all the hardships that you've been through, all the trials and tribulations that you've been through, and that's why, like, I think a lot of people find God and stuff like that, or Creator and whatnot. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a religion or anything like that. It just they fall in love with those, the positive vibes. They, a lot of natives, they call it the red road. Who knows what it is? It could be red road, white road, black road. Who knows what the road is? Why do we talk about it and not do it? It's much more than that. It's much more than something that you talk about. It's more than something you live. It's just who you are. I think there comes a point when you got to stop talking about it and just, just got to express yourself the way you should or the way you could. And it's not always easy to talk about, especially when you're on them. What are you in denial about? Look at Mr. No Chin, I'm just too fat, but what are you in denial about? Who are you lying to? You're just lying to yourself. That's what those drugs do. They make you lie to yourself. They don't make you lie to nobody else. Who are you running from? You're running from the government. You're running from the guy inside. You're running from the high. You're running from the lows. You're running from your past. You're running from your future. One thing's for sure, certain though, is the running's got to stop sometime. Whether it be right now, whether it be sometime in the future, the running's got to stop, and you got to start. You got to start doing stuff. Being a parent, being the father figure, being the breadwinner, being something. Whatever it may be. I hope you're great at it. I hope you're strong. I hope you have food. Food's not always going to be there, especially when you're trying to achieve. A lot of times it's silence. A lot of times it's that it's nothing. Especially if you can't sleep at night. That's why I think, I don't know, a lot of people medicate maybe because they don't like sitting there not silent. I think we all can relate to that person that sits there and appreciates their silence. That's what you make of that silent. And you come out, or it's what you make of that silent, and that makes that man come out from that other side. Um, like a lot of those vision quests, for native peoples, it's for it's doing that. You're confronting those. You're confronting those insecurities within yourself, deep down. You know, whatever they may be, whatever burdens you're carrying. We take those out there, and we take that out to the woods, and we leave those there. Leave it out there. It's almost like the Father for Christian people, I guess you can say. But it's more so like you build your life and then you leave it out there, because you don't. We build up. You take that time to build that lodge out there, to spend a day or two out there. You're building more than just being out there in the dark. It's much more on the mental psyche than just the simple. Just call it whatever the hell you want. It's much more than that. You're beating yourself up mentally. You got to do something. Like you might have just done it. Like you might not ate food like for 3 days because you were angry at somebody, or never purposefully. When you do it purposefully, it makes it that much more difficult. When you say you're doing it for somebody other than yourself, always seems like it's much more difficult, as opposed to doing it when you're angry or anything like that. I don't know where I was going with any of this. It just I felt like I should record, talk about some of these thoughts that I have. Probably won't air it. It just there's something in my mind that keeps saying, talk more, talk more. Speak and they will listen. Speak and they will listen. But will they though? Do they ever? How many more lives goes on before anybody hears it, before anybody does anything, before anything actually happens, You see all these great people passing away that do these great things, and we sit here what? We sit here and expecto patronum? I don't know. I guess one thing's for sure is you gotta step up. Some people, they get stuck. I'm one of those people. People talking about media outlets or whatever. Man, I ain't done that shit. I'm just me. I'm just a big dummy at home, recording, having good conversations with friends. Hopefully, out of these conversations, people can get a little bit of help. Maybe something. Expect something out of real life. More than the easy stuff. More than sunshines and rainbows. Life's much more than that. It's not always going to be great for you. It's might not be great for you now. A lot of people know, but you ain't always going to be uplifted. You got to find that balance. You got to find that uplifter. And if you feel that down, maybe you got to kick something out. Mess around with it. Is it the drugs? Whatever you think is lifting you up. Is it actually though? Those are questions you gotta ask yourself, especially if you don't have anybody to lean on. You sit in your own solitude each and every day. And you tell yourself you are more. You're far greater. When you know you're on the brink of mental insanity, when you got nobody there, you just have your thoughts. Thoughts are king. Depending on moods, depending on whatever have you. They drive you to do things. That people aren't proud of. Um, I'm not proud of everything I did. Fuck no, I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? But um, I did a lot of things that you know this they didn't necessarily do anything. But if one thing can be taken from it is maybe this, sometimes doing the podcast or something. But that doesn't mean shit to me. I love this podcast. I love what I started. But end of the day, man, I'm just a man with a camera, and if you want to watch, you want to listen, go ahead. I hope some of the stuff that I do talk about with my friends, my family, any of that, if they got to you and they helped you, great. Then I can say with confidence, and I can say with a lot more emotion in my heart that good, it's doing what it's supposed to. Sparking conversation with those, even if it's with yourself. Sometimes you're gonna have to have hard conversations with yourself. Those hardest conversations are always with yourself, I suppose. When you drive yourself crazy. Stay there in the silence. What does the silent tell you? Does it scream? Does it show you mercy? Does it taunt you? What does it do? Don't hold it in. Don't keep it in. Don't baby that motherfucker. Cause that's where you're gonna end up. You're gonna end up in that forever silence. Whatever dark hole that you envision yourself being in, that's where you'll be if you do nothing. If you change nothing. You want to become something, get up and do something. Get up and start something. Do fucking jump jacks. I don't know what the fuck to do, man. But get up and start doing. Don't sit there and worry about social media influences. Don't worry about none of that shit. If you're passionate about it, start doing it, Go towards it. Man, it's tough because, even at like work and stuff, people talk, oh, this and that, and somebody's got to do this, or whatever, responsibility. That's all I hear about. I hear about it getting talked about, but it doesn't always somebody doesn't always step up and do it. We talk about it. Who's doing it, Start doing, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but maybe when you notice those things happen, you didn't get to see who filled in those voids, who did the beautiful work for us, The ones that broke their back without, so much as a pat on the back. You hear about those people where they're like, yeah, man, that dude did that all the time. He did it every day. You're like, who? Mike? I didn't know Mike. What? He passed away last week. They're like, yeah, man, he's been here for 27 years. That same shit. The thing that you just noticed now that ain't being taken care of, he would do that. He would do that out of the kindness of his heart, whether somebody knew it was him or not. We all become that person, We all do. Whether it's inside, whether it's outside, whether it's your job, whether it's somebody else's job, Whether you're in a small corporation, big corporation, it doesn't matter. It's probably happening to somebody. Somebody's afraid to speak out. Somebody's cocooned down. Maybe somebody broke out and now they're talking about it. Now they're no longer afraid because they know that they can push forward. That they know as long as they go forward and do something and be that change, instead of sitting there and wondering about that change. You got to be that change. When it's on your mind, might as well do it. That's one of the easiest things easiest but most difficult things I've been seeing around lately in my own life, Just get up and do it, man. Just get up and do it. Stop bitching. Stop complaining. There's no appreciation. Sometimes when you're doing good, you're not doing it for that. You're not doing it for appreciation. Those people doing that great stuff, they know it's underappreciated. But they keep doing it anyways. They do it because they love and care about somebody that might benefit from that. Even if they don't, they do it like it's benefiting people like that. So crazy to talk about, I guess. I want to say thank you to everybody that made it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it somewhat. If you did, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate it. And without further ado, we're going to end this thing. Thanks for tuning in for some wacky things that were on my mind. This one's a short one, but yeah, I said it from the heart. I was super tired, but I meant every word. Some of them, like I might not have said the best, like when I said the man comes out from that side, because it's man or woman, because in our culture, we all do fasting and stuff like that, especially on like a spiritual level and stuff like that. So but I won't take up any more of your guys' time, but I hope you guys have a good night or a day whenever you watch this. So peace out.